So part of what we do at Godspen Consultancy and Godspen Leadership and Training Center, where we believe in informing, forming, and transforming lives, is that we focus on legging up people's skills. And part of those skills that we really focus on are, one, soft skills, and number two, employability skills. Of course, there are other several skills we focus on, but today we want to put a lot of premium on one of the skills that is quite useful for job seekers and people who are in business. And that skill is networking skills. And basically, networking skills has to do with the art of self-marketing or the art of social marketing. So we want to see basically what networking skills is all about, because it's a skill, I believe, that most of us need for us to be able to attain excellence or to access success in the things that we do. So we begin by defining networking. And number one, we can say that networking has to do with circulating in business functions at social level to create wonderful web of fruitful connections, So the key word here is all about creating connections. Can you create connections? Number two, it's the practice of meeting other people involved in the same kind of work to share information or to support each other. The good book says in Proverbs 27 verse 17 that iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpens the face of a friend or the countenance of a friend. So people who are in the same field or in the same area, like you are teachers, you can meet as teachers and discuss pertinent issues as far as teaching is concerned. Writers, journalists, lawyers, meeting, to discuss what pertains their profession or their vocation for that matter. So that is quite important. We can also say that networking has to do with making friends, just making friends, because as we shall continue looking at this, we shall realize that making friends is quite important as far as networking is concerned. Then we look at what networking is not. Networking is not forcing people to accept your ideas, ideals, ideologies, products, or services. The truth of the matter is that however much you have got very good ideas, like the one that Victor Hugo talked about, this is the idea whose time has come. You can have the best idea, brilliant ideas, you can have viable ideas. But you see, you cannot force people to embrace your ideas, your political ideologies, your products in that particular company, your services, like some of us who render services in various places. You cannot force people to embrace that. Networking is also not exploiting people for personal gain. Networking is not keeping your eye on everyone you meet with a selfish motive to benefit in future. So being someone who can network is all about being selfless, not having a selfish ambition for that matter. Being parasitic in nature or having the personality of a leech. You realize that in the dynamics of relationships, partnerships, friendships, it's not about being parasitic, Getting into a partnership, a relationship, a friendship, because you want to gain. And there is no way you can help the other person to gain. In any affair, in any connection, there must be a way in which people benefit from all sides. So it has to become mutual and symbiotic for that matter. We focus on the basic philosophy of networking. And the basic philosophy of networking is living is giving. That brings in the aspect of largesse and generosity. The heartbeat of networking is people caring about people. It is contributing. It is mutual and symbiotic, not being parasitic, as I said in the previous part. Caring is sharing. So that's what we need to believe in. When you care, when you share, you care. Networking is helping others, reach their goals, touch their dreams, thinking about how can someone get assisted. Never forget, people don't care how much you know, but they care how much you care. That is quite important. So you must think about, how do you become a caring person? And how do you become caring? You share. Sharing is caring. So if you can share, it means you care. Because people don't care how much you know, but they care how much you care, which is quite important. Now, we need to look at the 10 commandments of networking. And one of those commandments that thou shalt not drop the what it is it for me attitude. Thou shalt drop that attitude because it's not good. Thou shalt network at all times. Networking is done at all times. Thou shalt feed the relationship instead of leeching on it. We have said it's about feeding the relationship. Thou shalt carry networking tools with you all the time. We shall see some of those tools that are quite important. Thou shalt listen and ask questions, quality questions for that matter. Thou shalt give referrals if possible. Thou shalt give referrals if possible. Quite important. When you refer a good person, someone who can do a good job, there is a way you win people's confidence for that matter. Thou shalt follow up on referrals within 24 hours. If that has happened, thou shalt thank the person in writing who gives you referrals. I think that one now brings in even the aspect of professionalism in it. Thou shalt set networking goals in writing. Networking goals in writing. Thou shalt respond to emails and respond to missed calls the same day, which is quite important. Networking also has to do with etiquette, and here we look at networking etiquette. And one is that we must understand that etiquette has to do with the beauty of good manners. When you have etiquette, we say you are also polite, you are courteous, which is quite important. When you're with people, be careful not to drink or to eat at the same time, because that at some point may bring in things that may make you not have courtesy. Avoid complaining and blaming people all the time. When we are in an organization or an institution, we have those people, or we have caliber or ilk of people whose work is just to complain, and blaming people all the time. Always carry your business cards, but don't be in a hurry to dish or dole them out. Quite important. Business cards should not be given to senior executives you encounter unless they ask for them. Yes. So when you are with people, you must know that you don't be quick or swift to give cards to people who are senior. So you have to be courteous unless they ask for them. Politely ask for someone's card in case you wish to keep in touch with them. Politely ask for that. Quite important. Now, there is this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Steve Covey. And Dr. Steve Covey talks about habits like think win-win, habits like have an end in mind, habits like do the first things first, prioritize. But there is this habit that he talks about called synergize, which means you must know how to obtain energy from synergy. I believe that when you know how to work with people, how to go about social networks, when you have social intelligence, then it means that you position yourself to get what you deserve. Because networking is all about having social intelligence, knowing how to work with people. And we are saying here that highly effective people are neither dependent nor independent. In fact, they are interdependent people. They are not islands or leeches. They are like colonies where members interact with each other freely without restraints. They support each other, integrate with each other, and then they coordinate with each other. In real sense, synergy is the name of the game. To access success, we are trying to say that in the job market, in the world of business or private practice, you must know how to work in harmony with your family, friends of your friends, colleagues, clients, or more. You are doing your own business. You are engaged in private practice, like you could be running your law firm, you could be running a consultancy like what we do. Then you must know that networking is quite important. And I'm talking about something that I really believe in that has worked for me. Like now, getting contacts to work with schools, to work with churches, to work with organizations. Networking really helps in that thing. Now, avenues of networking. Where do you network? One, conferences. Seminars, church, school, events, when traveling. So when you're traveling, you don't just sleep in the car, because there are people who, when they are traveling from Nairobi to Nakuru, they sleep from Nairobi town to Sokomjinga, the foolish market, that market just close to flyover. Then they wake up a bit, they eat what they were carrying, then when they reach a place like Kinungi, they start again sleeping. They sleep up to Nakuru. But you realize that when you're traveling that particular shuttle, that means that you're traveling using public means. You can engage your neighbor, and talk about very useful things, because one of the networking tools that we shall see is that you need to be a person always armed with interesting topics. Like you can talk about interesting things, human interest stories. And that can only happen if you are knowledgeable, you read the newspaper, you read books, so that you can even engage your neighbor. Because sometimes you can fear to engage your neighbor when traveling because you have a lot of nothing to say. So you just feel like you need to keep quiet or to take weeks of sleep, Yeah. When traveling, that's quite important. Social gatherings, you go to a funeral. You don't just go to a funeral to eat, because the poor only take their stomachs to the funeral. So there is a way you can also go there and network with people. Wedding ceremonies, and any other social gathering, there is a way you can get a lot from it. Banking on referrals. Now we look at networking tools. One is wearing a smile. It's not just about wearing a long, lugubrious face like that of a donkey all the time, but you realize that a smile is very important. And there is this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and it talks about the essence of smile. When you read a book like You Can Win by Shiv Khera, he talks about the same thing, how those are strategies that can help you connect with people. Now, having a pleasant personality, business cards, working with business cards. Like I have got nice business cards here done by the Specs Creation, very nice business cards. So you can always be ready with that. Knowing how to do self-introduction. How do you introduce yourself? You must master that art, because you are people who don't know how to introduce themselves. They think introduction is just about saying their names, that I'm called so and so. But there is a way you do an introduction. You introduce yourself that people will know what you do and the things you do, the services you offer, the products you have churned out, etc., etc. Now, making significant phone calls, more so targeting your potential clients, cordially inviting others to useful events, appreciating and acknowledging others. I'm reading a book called Be a People Person by Dr. John C. Maxwell, and he talks about the essence of appreciating people and recognizing people, which is quite important, in what we do. Saying thank you, just thank you, congratulating and uplifting others, having an attitude of gratitude, being thankful, expressing sympathy, and going beyond sympathy, having empathy. I was wondering why a writer like Simon Sinek in his book Leaders Eat Last will be talking about empathy all through. And I came to realize that it's a very, very important thing. Trying to fit in someone's shoe. Like someone comes to you and tells you, this is what I'm going through. Will you just sympathize, or you will try to fit into the shoe of that particular person? That's what teachers need. That's what people in business need. When you are empathetic, you will not churn out a bad product in the market. When you're empathetic, you will not give shoddy services because you are thinking about the other person. Expressing your condolence to those who are bereaved. When people are bereaved, when they lose their loved ones, they're at their low levels, and you can come in and be of help. It's part of something you need to really master. Occasional voluntary services, giving back to the society. Go back to your former school, do something. Go back to someone who helped you and do something to him. Give back. Give back. Quite important. Now we look at the 7 P's of networking. We have networking is all about people. They say 2 things define you: the people you meet and the books you read. Networking is about passion. When what you do is what you love and what you love is what you do. Networking is about promotion. Promote what you do. Promote your poetry. Promote your writing services. Promote your designing work. Promote your photography, your videography. Promote the work you do. That's what networking is all about. Promote your writing services. Promote your public speaking services, Networking is about power, and power here is about powerful networking is all about results and relationships, effectiveness and efficiency, persistence and perseverance, generating all that. Networking is about planning. Failure to plan is planning to fail. William Arthur Ward talks about 4 steps to achievement, and he says one of those steps is to plan purposefully. Prepare prayerfully, proceed positively, and then the last one is pursue persistently. So you see, in those 4 steps of achievement by William Arthur Ward, planning comes as number 1. And planning is so important to an extent that even the Bible is saying, commit your plans to God, which means God is waiting for you to plan. When you plan, you commit your plans to Him. So you can't sit there and then just wait things to work. You plan and then you involve God in your what? In your plan, which is quite important. Then preparation. Preparation is connected to success. A wise man said that when opportunity meets preparedness, then success is inevitable. So you access success when there is a confluence between opportunity and preparation. So an opportunity can present itself, but you're not ready. You're not prepared. So you lose the opportunity. So that's quite important. Then participate. Enter the room with a graceful gait, gate, not that gate, the other gate, head held high and all that. Quite important. Why do people don't network? People don't network because of fear of rejection. They fear to be rejected, that when you present what you do to someone, will not take it, will not buy your idea. So you fear to be rejected. Because when you feel rejected, you can easily get dejected, like a wet hen. So you avoid that. Fear of being perceived to be weak or needy. But those who network, when you tell people about what you do, you feel people will say, this one is needy, this one is troublesome, this is meddlesome, So, which is not really the case. I know many friends who have good things they do, and I always tell them to do them, to market their services, but they feel like, how will people take me? It's like I'm meddlesome, it's like I'm stubborn, it's like I'm getting into their territories, which is not the case. Fear of wanton time wastage, they think they will waste time. Fear of being perceived to be pushy or aggressive. Pushy or aggressive. How does it feel when you keep on reminding people what you do? You send them on WhatsApp. There are guys who can even block you because they feel, this guy, what is wrong with him? So there are some of us who will feel, I don't need to share because people will feel that I'm pushy or aggressive. Low self-esteem or low self-worth. Standing up where people are and expressing yourself and telling people what you do. I do this, I do that. You can't do that if you have a low self-esteem. You can't do that if you don't have confidence. Yeah. You can't do that if you feel inadequate in you. You see? But you need to always see the good in you. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great American essayist, said, what lies ahead of us and what lies behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So what lies within you is so important. The I know it all attitude, you feel, I don't need to. I know everything. I'm home and dry, I'm okay. I don't need their help. I can do it on my own, And that's not the case. Remember what we said about successful people are not independent or dependent. They are interdependent, which means they bank on social intelligence. They work with people. Pride or inflated ego. When you're proud or you have an inflated ego, your ego is swelling. You may feel that you don't need to tell people about something. Like now you are marketing a product, and you feel, how will people see me? They will see I'm very needy. I need money. Yes, you need money. Even if it's 2 shilling, you need it. Even if it is 5 shilling, even if it's 100. Just the way you need 1,000,000. You also need that money. Now, the philosophy of asking is also something worth exploring here. And there's a guy who wrote a book, a guy called Percy Rose wrote a book called Ask for the Moon and Get It. And he talked about the 10 rules of asking. And one of those rules is ask the right person. I have come to realize that when you ask a wrong person, there will be no response, of course. And then there is nothing bad like parading what you can do before people who can't appreciate it. So you just avoid that. So ask the right person. You can't get milk from a bee or honey from a cow. Know what you really need or want. Prepare a good case. Give in order to receive. We have said that the philosophy of networking is about living is giving. Overcome the blocks of asking, which include the wall of fear, the wall of pride, the wall of low self-esteem. So those are blocks you need to overcome. Then ask artfully. Know how to ask. Asking is an art. Request or invite. Never demand or beg. Show respect as you ask. Do not say, you need this thing. I know you are not interested, but this is something you need. So, no, show respect. Even if you know that someone needs it, but does not want to pick it. It's up to him. So don't really become disrespectful. That can be very bad. Telling someone, I know your son needs this book, this poetry book is so good for your son in Form 2. Okay, it's so good, but just show respect. Ask and keep asking. Persistence. Go beyond me, and shift to we. Shift to we. Now, so that's what we do. That's what I wanted us to look at in this session. So you can also access my writings, my books, my publications. books I've written that are quite helpful, training manuals, and even newspaper articles that I've written with Saturday Nation and Educational News newspaper. You can read a lot of things we write there. You can also reach out you can reach us out by checking on our website on what we do, www.godspendconsultancy.co.ke. You can check our Facebook page, Godspend Consultancy. You can send an email. You can also make a significant phone call if that is what you want to do. At Godspend Consultancy, we believe in creativity, hard work, teamwork, quality, empathy, professionalism, doing things with a lot of grace, elegance, excellence, and consistency. So thank you very much for following on that. We will keep you posted on other useful stuff.